You know why? Asians have a one thing that we all have a sitting bitch face. And if you don't smile, it's a sitting bitch face. Look, right now, don't smile. Look at the camera. See? You look like an asshole.
Yo, what the fuck? Chris, come on. How you do me dirty like that, dude? What the All right, take a shot of this shit. Welcome to Guys That Listen. I'm Peter, and today we've got special guest Chris on the pod. Yo!
What's going on, guys? Chris Tran, Santa Ana, Little Saigon official, Orange County, Little Saigon all day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yo, so I found you through your social media. You've been doing a great-ass job about covering all that. Were you always a historian? Because how do you know all this?
I'm not a historian. I just lived through history. And by living through history, ain't nobody telling this story. I guess I'll be the dude. You know what I mean? So if being a historian, if that's when you want to label it, cool. But it's just ain't nobody in my generation trying to do this. So
why do you feel so compelled to do it?
because I think culture is important and how you grow up as culture and how you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, culture vulture and doing this and assimilating and all that other nonsense, you know what I mean? But all that nonsense, but like you are how you grew up. And how you grow up and what you do, who you clicked up with and your passion and your projects, that's your culture. I don't care if it's skate culture, music culture, fucking women culture, drug culture, whatever it is. The fuck ever you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
That embodies you.
Yeah, 100%. So how did you get into that right now, at this point in your life?
Because there was a void in certain part of Orange County storytelling, and the 90s was never represented. Everybody talks about the 80s, everybody talking about now, but the fuck do y'all do in the 90s? You know what I mean? And the 90s was a center point for a lot of culture change. Fobs stopped being fobs. People found their way. I mean, you know, you being Vietnamese, you know, all that whole fucking fob shit, that whole term went away.
Yeah.
When did we actually acclimate and assimilate where now you're not being called fob, but now we're calling other people fobs?
That's a good question. For me, it's a little bit more nuanced because, like, I'm a fob, but I'm not kind of thing, right? So I came here by boat. Like, me and my parents came here, like, from fucking, like, Vietnam to Malaysia to the Philippines to Texas.
Same.
On a motherfucking boat. But if you speak to me, you will never know that I'm a fucking fob, right?
Dude, if you look to speak to me, I'm the original fob. I came in 1975.
Sure.
I came by boat.
That's before I was born.
Yeah, landed in Guam.
Damn.
And then somebody petitioned me to be over here. So thank you, America. Give me an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? All the resources that were afforded to me, and now here we are.
Yo, that's a crazy ass story. And I feel like there's so many crazy stories where the fact that we use the word fob as something to like degrade someone, it's actually should be a like medal of honor, right? Like where we're like, yo, the fact that you came here on boat, no bitch could do that.
Yeah.
That ain't no bitch shit. That shit's some hard ass motherfucking shit, dude. Like
Exactly right. That's why at this age you really honor the people that paved the way and the shit that they did. You know, all the racism, the back push, you know, and cultural appropriation and appreciation. Like, who the fuck are you supposed to be? I'm Vietnamese. I'm here in America as a 2-year-old, now growing up. Where should you be?
That's a good question. But I think in general, as far as like where we should be, it's like a human being thing. Meaning like, where should any of us be? We're just trying to stay in our own lane. That shit is hard as is, right? Meaning like, as Vietnamese-Americans, like where should we be? As, you know, Adrian's like Filipino-American, where should he be? You know what I mean? Like Mexican-American, where should we be? First of all, we should not even be here. We just ended up here. You know what I mean?
I always end up where I'm not supposed to be. So it doesn't fucking matter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Invite me, don't invite me. If I want to be there, I'm going to be there. You know what I mean? If the party's happening and I got paid to get in, I'll pay to get in. If I can sneak in, I'll sneak in. You know what I mean?
I mean, this fool is partying today. He ain't been sneaking all day. I would say we had a great time earlier prior to this podcast. You guys could, you know, subscribe to the Patreon if you guys want that, you know, footage. But beyond that, no, like you know all the history of what you've been doing. Like, there's a reason why you do it now. So, what was the thing that put you over the edge? Like, I gotta do this now. Like, put it over the.
Well,
like,
there was people storytelling, but they did it in a third party perspective. Okay, they didn't live it. They heard it from somewhere, read a book, read an article, and now they want to speak on it and say it like it's their truth. Okay, not that they're wrong, but they don't have the details of how it became.
Yeah.
The narrative was just wrong. So like you can drive your own narrative, and what you live through and how you see it through your eyes, it might be right, wrong, doesn't matter. This is my version. Okay. Yes. So like your version, my version, wherever you live, how you live, let's just tell it.
Yes, and that's the main thing about this podcast is like the main thing is like I want you to tell your story, your iteration, right? Because no one can prove your iteration wrong unless like they've lived it too, but which is rare. So going back to that, your iteration back in what, like the 80s, 90s?
80s and 90s.
The story of like how Little Saigon came about, and like you were a child during that time.
Oh, yeah.
So what did you do to have fun? Like what was the thing that you went out and you know
have fun?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I was a 2-year-old. Everything was fun. I didn't even know how to be poor because everything was fun. Because you came on a boat. I was 2 years old. I didn't know my family was struggling. I just know, fuck, dude, there's a whole street to play with. There's a whole things to explore. I go out on the street, they say speak English. I go home, speak Vietnamese. All right?
True.
But then you have that duality. And then you start to get confused. You live in a Mexican neighborhood, you live in a white world, but you're a yellow motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they remind you that you're Vietnamese when you hit the streets. Who are you? What are you? And I have to explain to people. Nobody ever knew what a Vietnamese was.
You know what? In general, as far as like the identity thing goes, it's always been confusing to me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like I think the first thing that's always been confusing to me is black people. And this is going to sound crazy, but like when people told me about black people, I was like looking at black people. I'm like, no, they're brown. Like, who the fuck are you really talking about? You know what I mean? I've never seen black people. And I think of black as like jet black, like dark. And I'm like, never seen that. And then when people said like Asian people are yellow.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is the yellow? You know what I mean? Like the only people who fit in that narrative are brown people. Those are the only motherfuckers. I'm like, yeah, you're brown. And that's nothing against you at all. It's just like you're the only one who fit that characteristic.
Well, people generalize. When you generalize, it's just a whole generation. So it's very subjective what color you are.
But how do you generalize yellow and black? To me, black is very obvious. I might be one of the few motherfuckers who I'm like, I look at navy and I'm like, that shit is not black. That motherfucker is navy.
Yeah.
So how do you generalize a group of people into being this color that no one can agree on?
Well, because you have white and you have black, right?
But white people are not even white. That's the crazy part.
But that's the closest color you can get to. Unless you unless you know the whole Pantone codes.
White people are white people are motherfucking pink. They're not even white. These motherfucker looks like peaches.
They only pink when they hit the sun. Because I know more Asian whiter than white people.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers got porcelain skin, right?
Yeah.
Asian people who, I don't know, like what do you call them? Like just East Asians, not Southeast Asians. Just Koreans. They could be like the palest motherfuckers ever.
Of course. See, when you say yellow, okay, so a lot of people usually say, okay, if you're acting white, you're a banana, right? You're yellow on the outside, white on the inside. But me being brown as I am, I'm a fucking coconut. I'm brown on the outside, white on the inside. But then that was our own people talking shit.
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
100%.
But then what are they generalizing? After a few years, they're the same color as us.
Oh, 100%. Honestly, we paved the way.
Yeah. And
right?
now who's the asshole?
I wish I could tell you, but even more so than that, like, all right. So now we're predominant, right? Like we're popular, right? Because now Asian culture is popular to a certain degree, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's K-pop, even Vietnamese music is now kind of fucking nice.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's the music coming out of Vietnam is fucking lit, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I listen to this shit. I like been to Vietnam. I see it on like mainstream media and the things that I see. Like, wow, where was this before? Where was the representation? Right? We got Tweeg out there, fucking like at Coachella, the first Vietnamese artist. Right?
Absolutely.
Where was that?
Tweet music, you doing your thing.
Yes.
Get that shit, girl.
Get it.
Yeah.
But here we are, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about all these things that we've been trying to work at, and we never could. Why was it that we had to stick to our own community to mean something?
No, we self-segregated ourselves.
Self-segregated.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a comfort zone. Okay, you click to your own kind. You're comfortable until you want to get out of that comfort zone, in that bubble. Then you start exploring. But by exploring, your own bubble is going to hate you for that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay, you have a friend group. The one guy that left your friend group, that friend group talks shit about that friend.
It sounds like a very OC problem, but yeah, go on.
Okay, all of a sudden,
Preach.
he used to hang out OC, Santa Ana, Newport, and all of a
Yes,
sudden now
sir.
he's in K-Town, downtown LA. Okay, and all of a sudden what? You live here, but you say now you're LA.
I'm not that much of a hater, but I've done that for
Okay,
sure.
but see, but it goes full circle because you want to do something
does.
different. No hating for doing nothing different. You just want to have a change in life. Because why? You're like, oh man, I'm getting tired of this. Change of scenery. You know what I mean? Because like you run into a rut. It's like, okay, I've done this all my life, man. Let me try something new. And take your chances. But taking your chances come with some shit, though. You know what I mean?
It does. So, what would you say, like, back then, all the things that we were dealing with as far as, like, the Vietnamese community, the Asian community, like, coming together, that we felt like all of a sudden we need a change? Because, first of all, the biggest change is us being here.
Oh, yeah. Dude, we impacted the whole community. Look, I was telling you, we're here in Santa Ana right now, right?
Yeah.
Little Saigon started in Santa Ana.
Whoa.
Okay,
All
so...
right, educate me.
Okay, because you know why? If you ask anybody that grew up here in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, anybody from out of state, LA, whatever, they say, I'm going to Santa Ana.
Really?
Because you know what? The 5 freeway says Santa Ana, right? So they never refer to it as Little Saigon. They say, I'm going to Santa Ana. Because why? I don't give a shit where you, like, you come from New Orleans, Texas, Boston. We're going to Santa Ana. Okay, so Santa Ana was the spot. Orange County was Santa Ana. Santa Ana is Orange County.
That's wild.
Okay, but it just so happened Westminister picked up the leg of it. Okay, but it was never saying I'm going to Westminister. It became Santa Ana, and then I'm going to Bolsa.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because I'm going to Bolsa, and all of a sudden Bolsa now becomes OC now Little Saigon.
Yeah, because very few people could say, like, where Bolsa ends and starts.
Well, that's why I have a thing called Bolsa First.
What does that mean?
Okay, where does first end? New Hope.
New Hope. Okay, yeah.
But what does First Street turn into?
First Street turns into Bolsa.
Bolsa First.
Okay.
See, because it was First Street, but turned into Bolsa. Now Bolsa, if you want to go to Santa Ana, turns into First Street.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, so if there's a dividing line, and that's why people now, they talk shit about Santa Ana, but we're from Santa Ana.
No wonder I feel this huge affinity to it. So I gotta ask you, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know all this knowledge. You've been through that history. Like, how has it changed in the dating scene?
How it changed the dating scene?
Yeah, I mean, shit is different. Obviously.
At which part? Like hitting up girls, spitting game?
You tell me.
Or
You
swipe
tell
left,
me.
swipe right.
How much, like, experience do you have through all of that? You tell me.
Game hasn't really changed much.
Okay, game hasn't changed much.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. Okay, so the terminology changed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, before you got a spit game. You
Okay.
go Mac. I want to scam on this chick. All
Yeah.
these old
Yeah.
terminology. Now they got Riz that embodies everything, right? How the fuck am I'm gonna go Riz up this bitch?
All right.
What the fuck is that, man?
I'm gonna ask you to do this.
Huh?
Can you compare the terminologies from past to present?
All right. Let's say we go out. You see a group of girls. One of your boys, you find something nice looking.
All right,
right?
90s. What would
90s,
you
right?
do?
I'm
What
gonna
would
hit
you?
them up, right?
Okay.
Hit them up. You know what I mean? But you're gonna send one of your dudes that's fearless, that can spit game.
Okay, and then all right, now 2024. How do you, like what's the verbiage?
What's the verbiage?
Yeah.
What's your IG? What's your TikTok? What's your handle? You want to swipe right, swipe left, or you want me to come down the middle?
I agree with it 100%. I was just curious as
Oh
to.
yeah, I'm curious too. Like I'm looking at the youngsters say,
Yeah.
okay, how you gonna hit up on this girl? You wanna DM her? Cause my DM version is different from your DM.
Okay, so what was your DM version back then?
Huh?
What was your DM version?
Well, you know,
like?
I grew up in the age of pagers.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, but we grew up in the age where I'm gonna write a note or hit them up. What's up? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I like your shoes. What's your name?
I like your shit. God damn.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Is that the name of the game or like what?
The name of the game is, you know, you gotta find something you like about them.
All right.
What, you gonna say, hey, I like your tits?
You know,
Even though that's the first thing I looked at. You know what I mean?
honestly, I wish I could tell you what worked back then. I have no idea. Like for me, it was just like a different experience. Like I just
Okay, we're all gonna try to be gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try and make it work.
But we're primal. I see her, I like her. How do I get her? Okay, you got to have an angle.
So what was your thought process after that? Because we're talking about the 90s.
So
right?
there's guys that can spit game and the guys that have game through money. Okay.
What do you mean? Stan, no one got money.
there was the pretty boy, the
Okay.
guy that has a mouth,
Yeah.
and the guy that has money. Where do you fit?
Damn, I don't got money. I don't got a mouth, and I'm not pretty either. So fuck.
So you better learn something different then. You're gonna go back to arranged marriage.
Do you feel?
You know what I mean?
All right. So now that we're talking about how disconnected all that was, right? You said arranged marriage. That means like you guys don't even need to know each other. And weirdly enough, you connect with apps, you still don't need to know each other.
Oh hell no.
Right? So in between what we were doing is like you kind of had to know each other or know of each other, right? So what was the approach when you didn't know someone? Like
You didn't know that? Let me get to know you. Fuck.
But how though? Like you meet someone at what? Like you go get coffee, a boba shop. Like what the fuck do you do to be like, hey, you're a friend of a friend of a friend? Like, hey, what's up?
I just ask, what's your name? What's your game? Where you from? You know what I mean?
Really?
ASL. You know, they thought they invented acronyms, right? Like they abbreviate everything now, right? Dude, but all that was abbreviation. Look, I tell people, even with the pager, right? I go, who invented texting? Texting, like sending a message through fucking a computer, fucking little device.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when we had pagers, we sent codes. If I want to tell you I love you, 143.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want some info, 411. Okay.
True.
So who the fuck invented texting? Because why? I didn't have a quarter to put in the fucking payphone. Call you.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so technology has changed. You know what I mean? And technology changed, but like things have changed also. So the game has changed.
Okay, so now that you said the game has changed, I gotta ask you this question.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think love has changed?
Oh hell yeah!
Because R&B back then sounded very different than R&B right now.
Because back then you're trying to seduce somebody.
Oh, I did not think you were about to say that.
I mean, whatever R. Kelly is, but that motherfucker, that motherfucker got a lot of people fucking laid. You know what I mean? Jodeci got a lot of people laid. You know what I mean? Silk, everybody. You know why?
Unfortunately, that's
Because
a bar.
nowadays you can't even sing those songs. Let me rub you down. I'll get arrested, dude. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
Okay, so how has the game changed? Before you would woo somebody, spit game, mac on them, because that's your charisma, that's your way, right? How many guys right now have enough balls to walk up to a fucking group of 10 girls and say, "What's up? What y'all doing? You know, I don't got a bottle, but I got you."
That's another mentality, though.
Yeah.
Like to be like, I'm broke as fuck, but I still pursue you. That's very different. At the same time, it takes that kind of like true persistence to find a girl and be like, it's gonna sound weird, but like, not take no for a reason other than the fact that they're just saying it. And what I mean by that is like not to be like crazy, like I don't know what you call it, censorship or whatever, but you gotta read between the lines, and that's something that a lot of people don't know how to do. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, we grew up this way, so this is the way we think. But realistically, like, we don't say what we think all the time.
Now, is it because of you self-centering yourself, or you have your own filters, or you think too many people judging you?
Personally, I don't think too many people judge me. I think I judge myself more than other people.
So you have subconscious about what you feel, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that means, do you understand who you are?
I think I understand who I am. I don't understand who I'm portraying.
Then that sounds like an identity crisis.
You know what? Is that an identity crisis? I feel like
Well, run that back is exactly what you said.
okay, so I know who I am. I don't know who I'm portraying. Meaning, what I mean by that is like how people accept me. So whether or not, like, let's say, like, I want to be this person who's like altruistic and like out there as far as supporting the community, but other people might deem it as like, oh, he's just doing shit for his own cause.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you that person you see in the mirror?
Yeah.
Then you know who you are.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. at any
Because
point.
when I ask you that, it's like, okay, what you see, oh, fuck, I got to adjust this. I got to do that. Okay, or can you just like, I'm good, walk out?
You know what? So here's the bigger thing.
Yeah.
I don't even see me most of the time.
Do you see a perception of you?
No, I see what I want to do. Like who I am almost doesn't matter.
So you're irrelevant, right?
It's irrelevant. Like this right now.
Yeah.
Like I have you in here because we want to talk about Vietnamese culture, right?
Yeah.
We want to talk about Vietnamese people and how much we strive to survive and thrive. But I don't exist in this conversation, really. To me, like I do this. I am just a medium to have this happen. Like that's the way I see it. Because like in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I won't exist. But these conversations that we had, whether it's just a ripple effect or a butterfly effect, like it's gonna be there.
So some people talk about bridges and everything. You might not think you exist, but you're a conduit for information, correct?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, then you exist because that's the line of communication to bridge a gap of information through communication. Because if we didn't have this conversation, most people don't know this dialogue didn't exist. How can I address your problem at the same time addressing my problem? But is there really a fucking problem?
A problem is all due to perception.
Exactly. So it's
100%.
subjective, and so it's all perceived, right?
I agree with you 100%. So
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, how do you perceive things? Because you seem to be very unbothered by a lot of things.
Well, because I learned the word semantics.
What's true and what's not?
Because what do you say and what you feel and how you say it can be protruded and construed in every way possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you sound like you're a person of communication.
I try.
Okay, so what you say has a lot of weight. What you portray, what you convey should be your message, right?
Yes.
So the words coming out of your mouth, is that what you think?
As of this podcast in the past 2 years, it has been more prevalent that I am conveying what I think and what I feel more correctly. But prior to that, I'm like, oh, how did I express this message when I didn't even know what the fuck I was saying? To be honest.
We never thought we had a message. You never thought you can change the narrative. You always thought I had to be part of the narrative. Okay, but now that you see that I don't fit that mold, but how do I change that? How do I modify this? How do I fit into a different narrative? Or what they're saying is wrong, I might bitch about it, but is what you're saying is right. So you tell me, guys that listen, right? Or guys that don't even listen. Are you a good listener or are you a good talker? Because we're one and the same. We can talk, but you're here listening to me, I'm listening to you, but we can exchange fucking knowledge. Relationship doesn't matter male, female, human to human. You're trying to be a good human being, right? Saying things that are just really humble and not get canceled, but yet and doing things where like, what the fuck, this day and age, the shit I used to say 10 years ago, I'm not allowed to. The sentiment, the meaning to it is still the same. I just changed the word.
So do you think that in a way we're just not communicating in the way that people want to receive it? Because
Absolutely.
we're saying the same things, but just mildly censored. But it's the same message.
Same fucking message. Delivery's different. Okay, so even out on podcasts, is how do you deliver the message, right? You can have somebody that can't, articulate words, they can't communicate, they can't have a conversation, but their meaning is the same. They just can't deliver the message. So our jobs, like right now, communicating, is to deliver a message. What that message is, I don't know.
Okay, so now we're talking about a message. We're talking about communicating.
Yeah.
Like, what was the first time you felt like you had a message to communicate to people? And you're like, I got to get this out. This is meaningful. This is my purpose.
When people stop taking pride in who they are. Because I called you out for like being identity crisis, right? All us immigrants have identity crisis.
Yeah.
Are you Asian or are you American? Are you Asian American? Because why? In our own community hates us. If you're too American, you're whitewashed.
True.
If you're too Vietnamese, you're living in a bubble, in a cultural bubble.
Yeah.
Okay, move with the times. So which one is right? Okay, are you Asian or are you Asian American? Or you're American Asian at this point?
Honestly, it's confusing. I can see
It is
why.
confusing because you know why? If you live more as an American than an Asian, meaning like you speak English more often than you speak Vietnamese, all your activity evolves around what America has brought you as culture.
Yeah.
You might just eat Vietnamese food. You speak Vietnamese only when necessary. Do you speak it just to speak it? Big nothing, Vego.
Yeah, just you.
Chúc xíu, see? You speak it just to speak it.
Yeah.
We turn it on and off.
Yeah.
We only use it as a means of communication. But what's your preferred language?
English.
Okay. And now again, see, that's where the conflict comes.
Yeah.
What's first?
First in my mind, as far as me not being biased, it's Vietnamese actually. It's the thing that I learned first as soon as I was born. That was what I was like immersed in, was my parents speaking to me in Vietnamese. You know, like video games, you know, just like learning how to say like I want to eat was in Vietnamese. And it was only until, you know, I realized that like being American, not I wouldn't say I realized being American, but like being American culture, like you cannot say those things to other people. Like I can't be like, I'm hungry in Vietnamese, like, oh, con đói bia, to like your teacher and get them to feed you. You know what I mean? Like the idea that you say like wah is more likely to get you fed than like con đói bia. You know what I mean?
But there's also universal language, right? You do this?
Yes.
Okay. Sign language is always key. That's why we communicate through hands and gestures. So if you don't speak another language, most people can understand gestures, right?
True.
I don't care what language you speak. If you tell somebody this, they know exactly what you mean, right?
You know what? Okay, I can kind of disagree with that to a certain extent.
Explain.
Because like sign language sometimes is like a little different, you know. So some people like whether it's like a kissing gesture with the French is like literally highly platonic. So I think that's something that we put up as a wall to our culture, meaning that like, oh yeah, in American, like we do this and it seems like something very offensive, right? To some other people, they'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's not intrinsically built in us to feel that way about a certain gesture. You know, I think what it is, even facial gestures sometimes is not. Like if I were to frown in some cultures, I can't think about it right now, but like that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
And very similar, like if I were to smile, and you can imagine so many times where we smile awkwardly, like,
you know why? Asians have a one thing that we all have, a sitting bitch face. And if you don't smile, it's a sitting bitch face. Look, right now, don't smile. Look at the camera. See? You look like an asshole.
yo, what the fuck? Chris, come on. How you do me dirty like that? What the All right, take a shot at this shit. So I'm hella drunk. Anyways, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I feel like people in general want to pass down their knowledge and gems, right? And I think that also applies to relationships. So whether or not like relationship and dating is different now, there's things that we can take away from our past generations, right? So back then, when you would holler at these hoes, what was the thing that you took away that is now like different, but you think will apply to modern day dating?
I mean, I hate to be crude, but like, you trying to marry the bitch, or you just fucking trying to fucking bang that?
Well, how about, so there's a question now. It's not even about marrying or just banging that. There's the middle where it's like you just want to be together.
What does together mean?
Together just means that you're dating and you're not married and you're not binded by like a religious or a government entity.
So
like,
basically, the title.
yes.
That's a generational question.
Oh.
I'll tell you why. You start to date.
Okay.
At what point are you boyfriend and girlfriend? At what point are you exclusive? At what point you're not allowed to talk to nobody but me?
All right. I actually have an answer for all those questions.
All right, cool.
So for me, one of the things that I've noticed in dating, and a person can only have so much dating experience, right? Like, I've been in long-term relationships for like 17 years of my life, like straight up, just like back to back to back kind of shit. So I can only speak about it from that aspect. But dating, as far as exclusive, like being exclusive to someone, or like just fucking around, or like being completely serious, is based on the confines of your relationship. That means you have to talk about it. And I think that is something that even in dating, retrospectively, people did not talk about.
No.
Like, me and you are boyfriend and girlfriend, that just meant that. But what the fuck does it mean to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
And that's the semantics of what that title means, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you say that's my girl.
But do you think there's semantics there? Because boyfriend and girlfriend, I think, is clearly undefined.
Okay, because, at what date number 1 or date number 10, are you now a couple?
And it goes back to that.
Yeah.
Like semantics of it, right? Where it's like, I don't think the numbers matter. I think what matters is what you have established with the person.
Because you can meet a girl that's like on day 1, we're together.
You can be a girl who's never been on a date with you and be together with you.
Yeah.
It's called limerence.
Okay, and it's fair on both ways. Like some girls, they date and they're like, oh, I'm just going out on a date, right? But as a guy, I'm going out on a date. Oh, and then she goes, oh, you free? I'm going on a date. Can you say that to another girl? Because technically, you're not boyfriend girlfriend. You're not in a committed relationship, correct? Yeah. Do we have that freedom to express that?
All right, what time are we talking about this?
Like, is this freshly dating?
No. I mean, like, is this like 2024, like the day and age that we live now, or are we talking about like back in the day?
It goes. It's timeless.
You think it's timeless?
Oh yeah, because there was a time where when you woo somebody, or you're courting somebody, or I'm talking to her, or we've been seeing each other, right?
Okay.
All that verbiage is the same.
Really?
Because you're gonna get to the point where are we committed?
You know what? I have to hard disagree with that.
Okay, when are you committed?
I think you're only committed when you talk about that. And what I mean by that, it's like, all right, what are we and what are we doing?
Yeah.
And what are we trying to achieve? I think until then, time is meaningless.
Okay, so when a girl says, what are we right now?
And I'll be like, okay, like how long have you been talking? Like why have you been talking? Like why does this even start? And what do you expect out of it? No,
because what they look is what's the next move?
But the next move is only determined by the previous move. You know what I mean? Like you can't become husband and wife when you were just talking to each other or just dating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's where that verbiage changes from year to year, generation to generation. But that's the most uncomfortable conversation with every couple.
Oh yeah, 100%.
What are we?
So why do you think that is though? Why do you think we have such a hard time?
Social norms. What is social norms in the 1800s, 1900s, 2000s, right?
You just get what you want.
No, it's just the definition has changed. So most people don't believe that a word, the definition has changed throughout the years. If you look in the dictionary what exists now, go back 10 years what it was then, go back 20 years what it was, that same word has different definitions. Am I wrong?
I agree.
Okay, if you look at Black's Law Library book, and that's why when lawyers talk, it's the interpretation of the word.
Yeah.
How do you interpret that word? Because one word can change everything, right?
Yeah.
But one word can mean anything.
You know, now that we're talking about the definitions of words and
Yeah.
how it's changed throughout the years, like what has changed in the way that you've seen dating? Like you hang out with me, you hang out with other people, you hang out with younger cats. Obviously, you know how it was to like mac on a girl or whatever, right? Like, sorry for the lack of like vocabulary, but what is different now? And how do you approach it now in the way that you see the youngins going about it?
I'm still observing, man, because
That's why I asked you.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't know because it's ever evolving. Because their interpretation of our interpretation is subjectively different. Okay, because the word boyfriend girlfriend. Okay, what does that mean? Are we a couple?
What does couple mean?
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Is a couple meaning I don't talk to another girl, I don't cheat on you, I don't have any intentions or ill will thoughts, right? But to some people, even start dating, that's just respectful to talk to another person while you're courting her.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, already.
It's a cultural norm.
Okay, so it depends on what level of society you're looking at. If you're talking to a player, okay, yeah, what the fuck, man? We dated twice. I'm not your fucking man. All right? If a girl, how are you going to say you're my boyfriend when we only dated a few times? Or the word, that's my girl.
Do you think that's more of like a Western thing?
No, it's a more possession thing.
Oh, and you think that's common in general, like of people?
It comes any
possessive?
race, any fucking generation. Possession is possession,
Do you
right?
think that's more of a thing of guys than girls?
No, it's actually humanity.
Humanity.
Yeah,
So
because
it doesn't matter, guys or girls.
it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's guy on guy, girl on guy, different races. It's just what do you interpret that to be? So, and that's why it's confusing. Because your societal norms has changed.
That's true.
Okay, what it was accepted now, was it accepted then? And what is accepted now, will it be accepted in the future?
Okay, so now that we know that, in general,
Yeah.
at least the way you think about it, like, how do you accept that? Like, what's true to you? Because, first of all, we all have our own opinions, but what is your opinion?
What just choose going back to what your point is the communication. What is our agreement? Are we seeing eye to eye?
So what's your communication and what is your agreement? Like, you now, knowing what you want as a person, like, what would you say?
I don't know. I'm still searching for that journey. Because why? I can have the same conversation with 5 different people. The outcome would be 5 different things. The conversation could still be the same, but the outcome can be drastically different. And you're still talking to a good human being. The subject matter is the same, but the outcome will come drastically different. Because why? I'm not you. You're not me. So the outcome of it is, the combination is going to be different. Because I might get along with you, but if you want to come to an agreement to be this, I might not agree with you.
Okay, so as a person who's, you're doing your own thing,
Yeah.
trying to represent like Vietnamese Americans as truthfully as you can, and make a positive image, right? Like, how do you go about your own love life? Like, what is the main thing to you? Like, this is how I gotta approach it because I'm this person and I want to represent it in the best way possible.
To me, I'm going to do me and do me in my own lane.
Okay.
Okay, and I wear many different hats in different situations. But as far as like, if I go to a job interview, you gotta wear a different hat.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking to a different group of people, you wear a different hat. Okay, when that term, be yourself, no, it don't apply.
No such thing. Yeah.
No such thing. So, and everybody tells you to fit in, right? Or be yourself. It's contradictory. It contradicts each other.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, but that's what the confusing part is.
Yeah, I think in general, like, we live in a society where it's like our needs are already met, so we have to find needs for things for us to meet. Meaning, like, back then we just need to survive, right? Like, we need to procreate, have babies, families, so that our blood could go on. But nowadays, like, it's not that hard. So why do we have to act a certain way? Why do you gotta talk a certain way? Why do you have to provide certain value to procreate? It's like a nut is a nut. You know what I mean? So why are we working so hard to do this? And there's a reason, because like now there's this social status of like how you live your life. Meaning you make this much money, you live in this big ass house, and you have the status of like a lawyer, doctor, or whatever, right? And that's the only way you are deemed valuable enough to procreate. But realistically, you look at people, go to Walmart, you see these people, like me and you, and they have significant others. Meaning, anyone could procreate. Busting a nut
But
is
should
not
they?
something. That's another conversation. Yeah. Busting a nut is not something that we should applaud someone for, because it is not hard to bust a nut. Can you do that? Yes, possibly. But that is not the question. As far as us as mankind, humankind, to do other things, it's not just about busting a nut. For us, like, can we have the best version of this person and that person? Like, you can bust a nut with anyone, right? You can pay someone to bust a nut. Like, sorry if you need to censor that. But in general, you want to do it and have the most significant change in a person that you can when you birth them, right? Like, you don't want to bust a nut to someone who's like lesser than the two of you. You don't want to, typically. And sometimes you don't have that chance, and that's another conversation. But if you do it, you typically want to have something that will carry on your bloodline to the best of the extent of the both of you.
See, it comes down. So you talk about busting nut and and being accountable for what your action is going to be, right?
Oh yeah, that's a whole
Okay.
other, yeah.
So let's go back to the pull-out game. If you're getting with a girl and you don't have a pull-out game and you're just gonna bust a nut, will you take accountability for your actions? You don't know this girl. She's just hot. You just want to bang this, right? But you're reckless.
That's a great question in a way that I think, and this is just maybe me virtue signaling, right? I think that I would do things the same way whether she's ugly or hot. And that is just a right of life to me. Meaning that, like, yeah, we're here to procreate, but that's not the reason why I kept you alive. You know what I mean? I don't think that of anyone. I don't think that, like, you should not be alive because, like, you're not fully functioning, or you look a certain way, or you act a certain way, or you only react versus think about things. Like, who the fuck am I to judge that?
And that's why you don't. That's why you just do you and stay in your lane.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's hard for a lot of people because, like, our life is predicated on the fact that there is a timeline, right? Like, I think speaking as males, we don't understand as much, but females, like, there is a timeline in which we need to procreate before things get kind of messy.
So you're talking about the clock is ticking, right?
Yeah. You mean, so, like, for guys, we don't really worry about that. Not really.
You still have to worry about it.
Yeah, but we don't really, though. You can.
You can.
Do you? Not really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, as women, it's like, you gotta think about that. Like, what that means, right? And what procreating with this person means. Like, who is coming out the other side? What is that to you? To guys, we probably don't even think twice when we're like, touch a person.
Yeah, until you get hit with the fucking, child support payment every
That's
month.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it comes down to responsibility. Do you want a mama or you want a baby mama?
All right, so you just asked, like, do you want a mama or a baby mama? And I think it's very hard to differentiate between the two. And what I mean by that is, like, a baby mama most of the time does not choose to be a baby mama. Meaning that they're baby mama because of unforeseen circumstance. They wanted to be with this person, and it didn't work out. Maybe you didn't think about it enough. Everyone's different. I'm not trying to judge you. Sorry, all the baby mamas out there, right? But in the very end, they thought about it.
Because I make that statement because of this, it's like, are you a dad or are you a father? Because why? You baby daddy or you a father to this child? I have no kids, so I can't even answer on that. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Okay, we both don't have kids. And I think that doesn't take us away from the fact that we have good opinions on things, right?
Yeah.
Because people always say, it's like, oh, you want advice on how to stay together? Talk to someone who's been married for 20 years. I'm like, not really. I think you talk to people that you want advice from, not the people that lived what you thought that you wanted. Meaning, like, yeah, oh, you want to stay married? Talk to someone who's been married for 20 years. Like, no. I've talked to people who's been married for fucking, like, 80 years. And they're about to get divorced. So who the fuck are you telling me who's happier?
Exactly. See, and that's where the communication and knowing who you are, what makes you happy. Because why? Are you just content? Are you doing what's just right? Or are you doing what's expected of you? So that's why when I say do you actually do you?
All right, so big question.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you know when you're doing you?
When you don't have outside influences, yes, you have advice, you have red flags, you have things that you have to contend to, and you weigh it out. But if you make your own decision and you can live with it, that's doing you. And you take accountability for your decision, right or wrong. You made that choice, live with it. Don't bitch about it. Don't say, oh, dude told me this. Oh, he told me that. Or she's expected that of me. No, you made that fucking decision. Can you live with it?
So now that we're talking about doing you and figuring out your own decisions, how do you think doing you or figuring out your own decisions has changed to the current demographic?
I don't know, because as doing you can only affect what people like. If that's the model they want to live by, that's the model. If that's the model they say I don't want to live by, that's the model of not what not to do. So I never tell people how to do anything, but what I can tell you is what not to do. And what not to do, you can take it however you way. I've been burnt by this. I've been jaded by this. I've been fucked by this. I can just tell you, can you live with this if you make that decision? Okay? Because it might not make any sense. A lot of people ask for advice because they want acclamation. They want, somebody reinforce their thought. Yeah, reassurance, okay? Yeah. But how is my reassurance going to affect your total decision? You supposed to live with it. Because why? Now they can deflect. Oh, you told me that. I didn't tell you to do shit. You asked for advice, I gave it to you. Okay, it's up to you to make that you pulled the trigger, not me, right?
Yeah.
But yet they want to deflect and place the blame. That means they have no accountability for shit.
I agree with that. And I would say, now that I think about people and their life decisions and not taking accountability, what is one thing that you hope to stay the same in all the things that you've learned for the future?
Value.
Value.
However you want to place value.
Yes, sir.
We do everything for value.
Value. What do you mean by value?
The worth of it. Was it worth it?
So how do you discern between what's worth it and what's
okay,
not?
I'll put it into a foodie form. Okay?
Run it.
Okay. You see this on Instagram. It looks great. It's like, okay, it looks like it's great. You get there. This dish is $25 fucking dollars. The plating's beautiful. Ambiance is beautiful, but tastes like shit.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But the social media value is there. But the dollar value there. You can go down the street to a mom and pop shop. Great taste. Great food. Plating's shit. Service shit. But it's $14. Where do you place that value? Because is it a facade of how it's plated, how it looks, versus the real origin of the food?
Yeah.
So, but life is the same way. You want to live this superficial life that's right there, what expecting for you of the norms and being with the Joneses, or you live within your means where it still make me happy. I'm affording everything I want. Maybe not the extra, but on social media, I'm not a standout. I don't have that house in the hills on Huntington Harbor. Yeah. But yet, I have a 4-bedroom that I can afford. It fits my narrative. It fits my budget. I'm not breaking the bank. I'm not taking out fucking borrowing money from people.
All right. So going back to the idea of a lot of people being superficial. We've migrated to be here in America, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that we strive for so much, and do you think it's a detriment to what we're doing? You
always have to have a goalpost and strive for something. You can't live your life without having goals. Okay, and if that's your goal to be that dude with 4 supercars, a banging ass trophy wife.
Do you think that it's that obvious though?
Absolutely.
Whether or not like is that your goal, or is
No.
that your parents' goal, or is that your grandparents' goal, or is your grandparents' goals? Like these things that are passed down generation to generation.
Then you have to answer this.
More. Yeah.
Do you live up to the expectations of others?
Oh, easily no. Yeah.
Or do you live up to the expectation of yourself?
Easily no in both, to be honest.
So that's the generational question. Do I live for them or I live for myself? Because myself, some people can just live in a van, park that fucking Joshua tree and just
yeah, it's true.
Okay, park at the beach. I'm happy as shit. Or some people say I have to have a 5-bedroom house on fucking 4,000 square foot living conditions.
Yeah, true.
Okay, who's happier? When you ask, what is happiness?
Yeah, what is it?
Only you can answer that. Because you living for you or you living for others?
I don't think it's that far from each other as far as what is happiness.
Yeah.
Right? We always say what you're happy with is your perspective. Yes, we can say that. But I think closer, if we were to speak about what makes us happy and what makes us feel fulfilled, we would find it. It's just that we're not talking about it. And the reason why I say that was because like people used to live in villages, right, in towns where we talked about this ultimate fulfillment and how we reach it together as one unit. And now, if you were to ask me what's happiness, I gotta figure this shit out on my own.
For me, what's happiness is what can you live with yourself.
Do you think living with yourself about something is just being complacent, though? Like I can live with very little. I've always been that person. Just so I can know what I could survive with and thrive with. But, like, what ultimately makes me happy is a lot more than just being content. And it's not something a lot of people know because like we don't talk about it, and maybe we should because it's a complicated subject. But like when I tell you like what makes me happy is just like I was telling Adrian today, like I want this podcast to be able to pay for itself. I don't even need to make money. But can I go out and grab a drink with some of my friends and buy some French fries? Can that be part of the budget? That's all I need. But to some people, it's like extravagant.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kids and generations and wealth, and you know, again, everyone views it as different. But for me, like, it's not much.
Again, I go back to social norm and whatever you can live with. What is expected from you? Okay, and what is expected of you? Do you live with what their expectation is or your expectation of yourself? Do you want to strive for more? Be more. If you can be content with what you got, cool. I can live like a hippie, like you said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is your perception like goals is like I haven't made it? What does that mean? I haven't made it.
What has made it?
Yeah. Only you. Like I always go back to only you know what has made it is. Is made it live out your whole life without any complications?
Yeah.
Or is your bank account fat?
Yeah.
What has made it?
For me, I've never really thought about the word made it. Made it is not really something I think about.
Well, see, I think about both ways because you have to have, you know, a starting line and a goalpost.
Yeah, of course.
What's the end result here? What's the end goal?
See, that's the problem with me. The problem with me is I don't know an end goal. I think about the in-betweens because that's the closest thing to me before the end goals. Like, if I think about the end goals, like, how far am I from that end goal?
So, do you play a short game or a long game?
I think I play a medium game. It sounds really weird, but I play a medium game.
That means you just don't have an answer for it.
I wouldn't say that I won't have an answer for it because, like, if you were to force me to answer long or short, I could tell you. But that's not how I approach things.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way.
And the reason why is like I've seen people who have the long approach and they're no longer around.
Yeah.
I've had people who have the shorter approach and they're also no longer around. Yeah. And I'm not saying that life should only be a predicament of like how long you take it or how short you can take it. But at the same time, it's like you gotta figure out what you're here for.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like I'm here to hopefully have a conversation that inspires people.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully have someone that understands like where we're coming from that could push the same narrative further. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah, I absolutely. That's why my only thing is to be a good fucking human being.
It's great.
It's not about being a good Vietnamese person, an American person. Be a good fucking human, dude. Yeah. Because why? You fucking earthlings, I just come in peace, dude.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever you find peace and solace in yourself, find it.
So, speaking about the peaceful place, speaking about everything that we talked about and your history and everything that, like, I've learned about you in the past, like, 4 hours. What makes you the most peaceful version of yourself? Like, why do you feel like it's necessary for you to exist in the way that you do?
Because I don't push my frustrations onto others. I don't project my disbeliefs onto others. I don't deflect what I can't be onto others. Because why? It's just all in comparison. And if I can accept you being rich or poor, but you being a good dude just having a drink with me, that's all that matters to me. Okay, you can be rich, poor, as long as you're a good fucking human, I can toast you all day.
Just that.
Because I met rich dudes are a piece of shit.
100%.
I met poor dudes are a piece of shit because they're so angry. Okay, I don't want you to be around this because we live on a wavelength of vibes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, at what wavelength do you want to live on?
Highest.
Huh?
The highest wavelength.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Because we're all frequency, man. And wherever your vibration is, that's what transcends.
All right, Chris.
What up?
You're a pinnacle of reason in the Vietnamese community, right? Like, you've been through it, been there, done that. Where are you now? How's life? How's love? How's everything you're dealing with, man?
I just look forward to the future. And when I say look forward to it, because I see a lot of great hopes and aspirations for our people. And when I say our people, it's just not Vietnamese. It's Asians as a whole, Orange County natives, people born and bred in this area that has proud to be who the fuck they are in their particular surroundings. Do I see us ascending to a greater fucking platform? Absolutely. Because why? I named my brand Fall and Rise for a reason. Fall down 7, get up 8, keep the fucking shit moving. Keep it moving, dude. There's no pause button in life. It's just play. You would always want to rewind, but you don't have that option. So keep it moving, go forward, whatever speed you got. Slow mo, fast mode, keep it going forward.
That was deep, and I love that kind of shit. But beyond that, I want to see what pertains to you, what keeps you going, what keeps you moving, and what is about the love life that you're going through or seeking or not that you feel is very important.
I feel important as the culture moves forward. Love life, culture, my own thing, that's a personal business, right? Yeah. Because only we know how to deal with our own personal lives. But as a whole, and to be part of a collective that's a whole, and when I say collective, it's a fucking mindset of like a beehive.
It's like feel good.
Like the word collective. You gotta ask yourself, what does that fucking mean? What are you trying to collect? You know, and same minds think alike, or you just want to be around the people that align with you. Or you have diversity where it doesn't even align, but it's part of the pool. There's a lake with some fucking animals fishes that don't belong, but they're still part of the fucking lake. There's some species that shouldn't be here. Harmony is not always there. But if you can't deal with chaos and deal with the small things, how the fuck can you deal with the big things?
All right, well, going into exactly what you're saying, you know, we didn't all grow up with cold hearts or very steel man arguments in the way we present things. When was the first time you felt like you had to go the opposite of the person that you were? Meaning, like, I feel tough and I gotta be a provider, or I gotta be a person who's like the person that they can lean on. But at this point right now, like, I gotta be that person 100%. When
I learned the definition of being righteous, what does that mean to you to be righteous? I don't condone or condemn. I just let people live. Okay? If I don't fuck with you because of what you do, I don't condemn what you. I don't condone it, but I'm not gonna fucking do what you do. But I'm not gonna knock you for it. I'm not gonna shame you for it. You know, you have gluttony in your life, you have sin in your life. That's you. Do you? But if you bring it to my house, then I'll have to answer it. But if I'm on the street with you, cool. I accept you for who you are. Okay? And that's why I say, I know it sounds like an oxymoron and like I don't condone or condemn, but I just let people be who they are. Okay? And that collective value will be enriched by our culture, because you can't have it just one way. Because if you have it one way, that's just gatekeeping some shit.
True.
So I know I haven't answered it directly, but it's a loaded question. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you another loaded question.
Yeah.
But now that you're at where you're at in life, like that perspective in dating and condemning and judging people, like what's the biggest thing that has changed about your perception of dating?
Of dating?
Or relationships in general?
What it means to be monogamous.
Explain.
Some people think marriage is monogamous, but what's the divorce rate of people cheating?
57 or something?
Okay, I know couples that never been married but never cheated on each other. So what's that title mean to you?
Never married, never cheating means polyamorous, or at least
See,
poly in some way.
we live in a world where now everything's a label. If you want to label yourself, cool, live with that label. Okay, because why? With the label, it's the ingredients. What made you? Are you okay with what made you this? Certain percentage of this, certain percentage of that, certain percentage, but as a whole, this is the product of what you made. Can you live with what made you? Whatever it is, okay? If what made you is like your significant other complements who you are, or they enhance who you are, or because that's just arm candy because of your public image. So whatever it is, I'm not there to judge you on that. But if you want to judge yourself and your precept of who you are, cool, live with it. If you want the baddest bitch in the fucking world be on your arm, it comes with problems. But if you want that wholesome girl, it also comes with problems. Because why? Your family values, not her family values.
So I gotta ask you now. When did you realize those problems were problems?
When you tackle it on face forward, when it's addressed to you, and you're like, is that really a problem?
Like what? Give me an example.
Like the title of, let's say, relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, like we were talking about earlier. Let's call high school stuff. Okay? Yeah. I'm going steady with him. That's my boyfriend. That's my girlfriend. Okay? Or we just exchange numbers and we're a couple. At what level do you have to hold hands? Do you have to kiss? Do you have to fuck? Or do you have to have a baby to be a couple? Or you just a couple with any of that shit?
Yeah.
So that question, again, is open-ended, right? It's all how you want to frame your own life. So can you answer your own question?
I think for me, it's like when things don't align.
Yeah.
And think like when things don't align in the way that I've processed it. And what I mean by that is like, we could talk about shit, think like, you're this way, I'm that way. You know what I mean? Like, I want a girl that's like this, you want a girl that's like this. But none of that means shit.
None of that means shit.
Until you're in a relationship with them.
Yeah. If you can build, it's like build a bear, right?
Yeah.
If you can build your own bitch.
Build a bitch?
Yeah.
Damn, that's the next $1 million idea. But anyways.
But again, let me correct this.
Yeah.
A bitch is empowering because why? I stand for something. That's why people say that's a fucking bitch because she can verbalize shit. Okay, she stand up for herself. She's confrontational. Also, she can be a Karen, she can be a bitch, but it don't matter. She ain't just taking it lying down.
Yeah.
So when I say build your own bitch, I'd rather have a bitch on my team than somebody who fucking lays down.
Ooh.
Does that make any sense?
No, it does. It does.
Okay, if you're laid
That's
out,
actually a very hard ass phrase. That's a hard phrase. I'd rather have a bitch than someone who's just laying down. That's all. Like,
it's like if you ask, hey, you want to bend over or you want to fucking fight it?
Yeah.
Okay, shit. If you want Astroglide KY, I'll provide it for you.
No, that's hard. That's hard. So one of the biggest things to me, like after friends, women, males, whatever's, I just feel like no one knows how to figure out the direction in which you go to find a mate. Meaning, like you're born, right? You're supposed to find your passion. What you want to do for the rest of your life, your career. But other than that, what are you supposed to do? Who's your perfect person? And how the fuck are you supposed to figure that out? To me, that sounds a little crazy. But that is a question that everyone's asked, even you.
But what is the question?
What do you want to be? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? And why are you here? It's something that's been asked of you since you were a kid. Like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Doctor, lawyer, cop, something in tech. But guess what? You have the ability to change your mind. So I'm asking you this now as a human being. Like, you have a idea of a career in your mind. What do you want to be? And why?
I want to be a good contributor to society.
What does that mean?
I want to move my culture forward. I want to move the people that have the same mindset forward. Good or bad, we're all going to be, again, going back to the collective of what culture is. I live the fucking Cali culture. Whatever the Cali culture is, some can say it's a white culture, some can say it's fucking laid back. When people say we're a melting pot of what? Look at food culture in the last 10 years. California has a food culture mecca. I don't care if you're Argentinian, Lao, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Italian, fucking French. California has embodied all of food. Food transcends, and I'll tell you why. The word breaking bread. If I break bread with you, I fuck with you. Let me share a meal with you. Let me share a drink with you.
Yeah.
Because I want to share a conversation with you. Because why? I want to know who the fuck you are. Let me understand. Once I understand, if I fuck with it, I fuck with it. If I can't, cool. Peace. Nice hollering at you. I'll see you on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we can not always get along.
No.
Because why? I barely get along with my siblings. We're blood.
Same.
All right?
Yeah.
What makes you think you're any different? So, to answer your question, there is no fucking answer. We're living it. The answer is in the future. Do I live in the future? The moment I'm living now will preset and predict the future, correct? But I learn from the past. And I live for now to see what will be ahead of me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I don't know. The future's unknown. Because you know what? If I can predict the future, that means I can fucking pick the lotto numbers.
Oh, yeah. I'd be fucking rich.
Right?
You'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Y'all be fucked.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, we about to make some fucking
But
money.
if you know it all, think it all, and believe you have it all, cool. More power to you. Yeah. You might be from the future.
All right, Chris, I have 3 questions for you. First and foremost is, what makes you uniquely you?
I mean, born Vietnamese, raised American, combining the two, being a good fucking human. Because you know why? My cherry out of pride is afforded freedom. Afforded freedom to me, even being on this podcast to say what I say. To be accepted, that's to be determined. Okay, what makes me me? Stay in my fucking lane and be me. Okay, so I don't know what that means. I don't care what it means. I'm going to do me.
As long as it's true to you, man.
Yeah.
100%. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. What is a monumental event in your life that's changed your life forever? Something good or bad?
Realizing the struggles before me to get me here.
That's huge.
Because why? We take things for granted. We're complicit in how we live. We have different expectations how we should be. But if I take the formula of what got me here and move that and adding more ingredients to this recipe and advancing this to something better, or keep it traditional, it's up to you. But if you want to evolve, evolve. You want to gatekeep, gatekeep. But I'd rather evolve.
All right, that's fair. Bars is that. All right, for the last one.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you want to be remembered?
I would only remember what I leave behind. Trails. Breadcrumbs. Because why? The breadcrumbs will lead to the fucking truth and treasure. Because why? We're all about the journey, right? And not everybody has a roadmap. But if you can leave crumbs to get to the fucking promised land, what is the promised land to you? Find your treasure. Find the end of the rainbow. Find your pot of gold. If that's what it is, cool. If your pot of gold is peace, if your pot of gold is money, or your pot of gold is family, or it might be all that. Find your pot of gold.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate Chris for being here, bro. Because, wow, I got to learn a lot about history, about Vit history and my culture, and I'm so appreciative of that. And, dude, please let everyone know where they can find you, bro.
Little Saigon official, fall and rise. Because why? I fall down 7, I get back 8. Keep it moving, man. True grit. That's all. Resilience.
Yes, sir. And special thank you to our audience for tuning all the way through, because it's a long-ass episode, but always appreciate you guys, dude. Listening all the way through. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment below what you guys want us to talk about next time. And remember, live fast,
Eat ass.
All right.
Have a motherfucking salad.